I did. She looked funny. She didn't
Wait,
look like
3 months early, Miss Payne.
Listen.
And look at my daughter. That is
Listen.
the spitting image of your son. It doesn't hurt me. It's gonna hurt.
Sitting up trying to pin a baby on a man. Hold on, I'm talking now. And shrug your shoulders, stay silent.
Ms. Kavanaugh, you and your mother are appearing in court today to prove paternity of your 3-week-old son, Malcolm.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you claim his biological father is Mr. Bowles.
Yes, Your Honor.
Even though you admit to being intimate with another man, Mr. McElliott, during the window of conception.
Yes, Your Honor.
But here is another side of the story.
Mr. Bowles, you've never met baby Malcolm.
No, I haven't.
But you say you're sure you're not his biological father.
I'm positive I'm not.
Here's what went down between the two of them.
When we first met the first night, we had sex within like 20 minutes of being in her house.
It wasn't within 20 minutes.
And then, like probably 3 weeks later, maybe 2 weeks later, I found like an open condom wrapper in her bathroom.
Well,
She had already said that
just because
like, I was the only person she was having sex with.
However, Miss Kavanaugh was prepared with her answers and had this to reveal.
Then I found
Just
the
because
wrapper.
I had sex with him on the first night doesn't mean I have sex with everybody on the first night. I actually cared for him and had feelings for him. We actually talked for a couple years on Facebook before I even met him, so we had some type of connection. It wasn't just he came over one night and just we did it. And then the condom that he's talking about, it was my friend's that I worked with. Her and her boyfriend spent the night.
What Mr. Bowles has to say next was completely unexpected.
Also, before she got pregnant, she actually lied about being pregnant maybe like some weeks before. She lied about it.
That is true. The way that I found out that I was truly pregnant with my son is because I was very childish when I was talking to Mr. Bowles. Like, I really cared about him and I desperately wanted him to care about me because we were with each other basically every other night, if not every night. He was coming to my house.
That was not even the end. Wait till you hear this.
I went to the store, got a pregnancy test, was going to take 2 negatives, turn it into a positive. And yes,
Take 2 negatives and turn it into a positive.
yes, crack them open and turn them into a positive.
Oh, and put 2 of the lines together.
Mr. Bowles then had this to reveal to the court about his doubts.
I wouldn't say I was excited. I was still being around.
Yes,
I knew that
he
she was
was.
with other guys. And actually, I think there's more than just one other guy because when I was at her house one time and I spent the night in my car, somebody went in my car. And I thought she had something to do with it at first, but I don't think she did. But we kind of fell out. And I remember I was at the DMV getting my license and she texted me talking about I'm with this other dude.
When the other party, Mr. McElliott, is introduced, he has something major to reveal.
But I believe there was a third party or something that was included in this.
Yes.
Okay.
That's true, Your Honor.
Oh, nah, it's true.
That's true, Your
A
Honor.
third party?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please elaborate on the third party.
It was a very drunken night.
When her mom complains, Judge Lawrence shuts her down. And how she does it is worth watching.
Because a lot of women feel like they want to compete with a man and these men are running all over the place. And it's wrong all day long.
right.
However, when you understand the basic biological facts, you get the difference. We, women, bear the children. Meaning, they can orbit in uncertainty indefinitely, not knowing whether or not they're the father, when we know for certain we're the mothers.
Yes.
And we are responsible.
She then had everyone in awe.
We have responsibilities to a child. Until we figure out who their father is, the child still's gotta eat. That's the difference, and that is what we need to tell our young girls so we are empowered to know the difference. You all running around here having sex like it's Ring Around the Rosie or something. It's not a game.
Finally, the results were in.
Mr. McElliott, you are not his father.
Apologize.
Mr. Bowles, you are not his father.
Hopefully, Miss Kavanaugh finds the father of her son someday.
Ms. Lusk, you and your mother say you have no doubt whatsoever when it comes to knowing who your 3-year-old daughter, Samari's biological father, is.
Yes, Your Honor.
Unfortunately,
The man you claim is her father has died, and now you find yourself facing off against his mother, who is just as convinced that she is not your daughter's grandmother.
Yes, Your Honor.
This, however, is the other side of the story.
Ms. Page, you say there's no way in this world Ms. Lusk is being truthful. For starters, you contend your son was in a committed relationship with another woman, and until he passed away, you had never heard of Ms. Lusk. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is what Miss Lusk had to say.
These past 4 years, everything has been on me and my mother. And I feel it's completely unfair because he has a whole other side. She has a whole other side to her family. My daughter is beautiful, and you missed out on 4 years, almost 4 years of my child's life. Not
Okay,
only
Ms.
me,
Lusk,
not
everybody's
only
a
me.
single parent. You're not the
absolutely
only one.
correct, but you
It
were a
happens
single
every
parent
day,
as well.
all day.
You were a single parent. You raised Desmond by yourself.
Yet Miss Page is convinced it is all a lie.
They're out for money. I had insurance on
What
my
money?
son. I had an insurance policy. They're out for
That we
money.
knew nothing about.
Let her
That we
speak.
knew nothing about.
Unless it's proven, it's not my son's
You
baby.
never posted
I knew
it on
anything
Facebook.
about
Ms.
Ms.
Lusk.
Lusk. Knew nothing about her.
You said you have an insurance policy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Page, though, had this to reveal to the court.
Your Honor, I never heard of Ms. Lusk.
And
Never.
that
Your
was not
son
true.
was in a committed relationship.
That we
Ms.
knew
Lusk
nothing
was
about.
never brought up,
That we knew
or
nothing
brought
about.
around.
And the
Who
crazy
is
thing
Ms.
is, the last time we were intimate, you knocked on the door. You interrupted us. Yes, ma'am. I was
It's
in
in
your
her
house.
head. It's
I
in
was
Ms.
in your
Lusk's
room,
head. I
and you
never
came
heard
and
of
knocked
Ms.
on the
Lusk.
door.
This is how she found out about it.
How did you get the news that she potentially was pregnant?
Well, I'm thinking that someone told me via Facebook or something like that.
No, ma'am.
So please respond, Ms. Anderson. How do you know what happened?
I contacted Miss Page through Facebook to tell her to call me. She called me, and that's when I broke the news to her about my daughter being pregnant by her son.
Okay.
What the judge had to say next amazed everyone.
If the baby is Desmond's, this will not be the last time you all see one another. And that's why I don't know why we carrying on up in here today like this. You all could both be the grandmothers of this beautiful, beautiful little girl.
Definitely.
What Miss Lusk revealed next was a total shocker.
I didn't have time to grieve. I didn't have time to grieve either.
We haven't
The day after
either.
my son was killed, his first daughter was born.
I understand.
It
You-
was it.
Okay, I
Are you
understand
serious?
completely. But you are a grown woman. I was 16. The way you slandered me on
Are you
Facebook.
serious,
You
Ms. Lusk?
slandered you called my premature daughter ugly.
I did. She looked funny. She didn't
Wait,
look
It
like
was 3 months early, Miss Page.
Listen,
It's now time for the results.
the probability of relatedness between Miss Page and Samari Page is 99.96%.
Hopefully, the baby girl gets to have a relationship with her grandmother someday.
Ms. Kiles, you have opened your case to prove to the defendant that her deceased son, James, is your 14-month-old daughter, Ava's biological father. You state that you know the defendant is in pain due to the loss of her son, but so are you.
But there's always another side to it.
Ms. Light, you say Ms. Kiles is a pathological liar, and you claim that as much as you would love for a piece of your son to be here, you don't trust that baby Ava belongs to him. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Light, however, had this to reveal to the court.
He came to me so many times, after he moved her to Oklahoma and got everything furnished. Another man answered the phone and tried to claim to be Ava's father and be in her life now and all this other stuff.
Things got more confusing along the way.
I decided to give Ava away to a family member, and she named Ava Skylar.
Why are we calling her Ava?
Because that's the name that me and James wanted to name her.
How could anyone not tear up at what Miss Light had to say next?
Something happened, some girls arguing, and another guy came and shot my son. And the girl tells me that all she could do was try to pull him into the car and drive off. And they kept shooting, so I know it was God. But I don't know what stopped the bullet hole from hitting my grandbaby other than God.
Now this is where the doubt creeped in.
The situation where she said it never happened, where some man answered the phone. Situation when I had to go find my grandbaby one day, and the guy that answered the door to me, he tried to favor my son. He even got the tatted over his eyes.
Him and James met before. They met.
The heartbreak for Miss Light didn't stop there, though.
That to be my grandbaby, so we can do the right thing and get her name what it's supposed to be. Ava Jashay Miller, and that meant so much to my son, and that's why I know it, because I lost a daughter and her name was Ashaya. She was 15. They was very close.
Let's get on to the results now.
The percentage of relatedness between Ms. Light and Skylar Ava is 99%. You are related.
We are so happy for Miss Light knowing she still has a piece of her son.
Ms. Renfro, you claim you are 100% certain that the defendant is the father of your 6-month-old son, Kendall. You say Kendall was born with a serious medical condition and believe it was genetically passed down by the defendant. And that's why today's paternity results are critical. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now this was the other side of the story.
Mr. Tuzzi, you are certain you are not her child's biological father and say the truth will be revealed today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Renfro got to share her side of the story.
So, Ms. Renfro, why do you believe Mr. Tuzzi is denying paternity?
He don't want to take financial responsibility. He hasn't been there. He wasn't there through my pregnancy. When I had the baby, my baby, he wasn't there. For his surgery, he wasn't there. I've contacted him. I tried to let him know, and there was still nothing, no response, no, forget about, nothing.
Mr. Tuzzi's defense did not please the judge.
I had sent a few text messages from her random ex-boyfriends.
It wasn't
the
no
dudes
ex.
that she had sex with before, and I know this for a fact.
5 months prior to.
What did the text messages say, sir?
I really don't remember what he said. I just kind of glanced through it.
So wait a minute, you saw text messages which indicated that you may not be the biological father of a child, and you can't remember none of them?
Miss Renfro revealed something truly heartbreaking next.
Yes, Your Honor.
My son has a issue with his stomach. He was born with what you call Hirschsprunger's disease, and it's passed through genetics. And none of my other kids have it. I had sex with him, I got pregnant, and my son had to have surgery at 6 days old. He had to have part of his intestine removed.
There was one surprising element which was brought to everyone's attention.
I know who my kids belong to. I don't just lay down with everybody. I don't sleep with everybody unprotected. And when I do have sex with people...
Then why would you have another guy signing the birth certificate?
Because he's been there. Like, he took on that role. That was his choice. That was
Hold on,
his
so
decision.
Ms. Renfro, you had another person sign the birth certificate?
Mr. Tuzzi's racist comments did not please the judge at all.
Mr. Tuzzi, why haven't you been there? I mean, this child is 6 months old. He has had to overcome medical issues.
That baby don't look nowhere near like me. If the baby was mine, it'd be a little more darker than what it is.
Because you had made it up in your mind.
No.
Miss Renfro's best friend may have messed up her testimony a bit.
Mr. Tuzzi, he's a good guy, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's doing this purposely because, like he said, she was texting whatever, texting a guy. Well, there was like somebody that she had slept with around time, but it was she was protected.
Hold on, don't gloss over that. Don't talk so fast.
Sorry.
You said there was a guy she had slept with during the time?
Well, it was a little before she got pregnant.
She got caught red-handed, and this was her reaction.
So, Miss Renfro, your best friend, remembers you were intimate with somebody else around the time. When she said it, you did not immediately say, what you're saying is a lie, that is not true.
Stuff happens.
And now we have the results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Tuzzi, you are not the father.
Yes!
Oops.
Told you! Hopefully Miss Renfro does find out who the father is.